I feel like this kitchen is gonna become famous one day, where everything started. All our little chats. Cute. Right guys, today is Thursday. That makes it shoulders and chest day. One of my favorite workouts from my current split. It's extremely fun. Again, same routine as last time. We're just gonna try and perform better. So we start with behind the neck presses, and I know I get a lot of hate and questions about those, and I find it quite funny. So, just to address it, I prefer benching, going like with the shoulder press behind the neck for a few reasons. One, it forces you to work in a strictly vertical line, rather than being, again, always in front of the body. Then, because I have so many presses coming afterwards, so the incline press for chest and then the decline one as well, I'm already doing a few presses in front of me, and I want to pull my shoulders back and balance things out in that manner. Also, I know it's a weaker positioning, and this is exactly the reason why you should be training it, not running away from it because someone said it, not giving names, Atlanex, in the past, that, oh, it's gonna ruin your shoulders. It's so not true. Just because you're weaker in that position doesn't mean you shouldn't get it stronger. My rotator cuff muscles have developed a lot ever since introducing this kind of press in my routine. And it just keeps me injury free from any other exercise or workout for that matter. So to me, it's an amazing exercise. It's great, it feels good. You need to take a hit in the ego and do lighter weights. But if you focus on form, you do it with a controlled tempo, you'll be fine. And it's actually amazing. Might even fix your posture a tiny bit, pulls your shoulders back slightly. So, all the benefits. Going back to the routine, so we're starting with that, then we're doing incline dumbbell press with pullovers in superset, going for cables on decline press, cable flies, cable rear delt fly, so going back to shoulders, and finishing with chest supported side and front raises. And that's that. Maybe we even have time for some abs at the end. I'm a tiny bit on a rush, but we'll see what we can get in. In terms of the poison, I know I haven't shown you this lately, but this is my pre-workout. I don't have a code, but it's called ABE, and it's strawberry mojito flavor. It's probably the most interesting flavor I've ever had in my life from a supplement in general. So it starts off with like a sweet sour strawberry, goes into a minty aftertaste. It's pretty fun. Considering I'm not drinking anymore, this takes me back to the good old uni days. And then intra, I have this extend BCAAs. Now, before you jump on my head and say, oh, but BCAAs don't do anything. Yes, I know, I don't recommend BCAAs as a thing, but a few reasons why I like that. It has a very good blend of electrolytes, so the pumps you get out of it are amazing. Yeah, you get the BCAAs, but whatever, I don't care about those. And then it tastes nice. And you know what? For 30 pounds to have 90 workouts of that, of like nice flavored water with great pumps. Well, really? Are we discussing this? It's a no-brainer for me. I'm not saying you should get it. It's not going to give you anything extra. It's just a vanity thing. But I like it. Let's go. So we'll start on Smith machine. When you set this up and you want to align it properly, let me show you how I usually do it. So I usually bring the bar all the way down and then bring the bench right flat on it. And then, I think I need to show you this. So there is the textured and the smooth line of the bar, at least in my case. And what I do is I have my hand grip on either side from where the smooth starts, and then I fixate the bench right in the middle. Now I know that's exactly fully centered on the bar. Then I just like push it ever so slightly back with my knee, lift the bar all the way up. Now we're good to go. Perfectly balanced. Then in terms of grip, I always go a tiny bit wider than I would if I were to do the press front facing. So the idea is when you drop down, you want to have a straight line from the wrist into your elbow, or at least as close as possible to that. Because you don't bring your elbows forward, you need to have them flared out. So in my case, I have the guideline on each side. You probably will as well. It's typical on any bar, and then you play with that according to your fingers. Cool. And from here, obviously we want to go as low as we can, ideally underneath the ears level. I'll have a couple of warm-up sets, and then 3 working sets of 12 with a drop set at the end as well. Safety pins always on the side, because you never know. For my warm-ups, I don't tend to rest a lot in between them. I don't do a lot of reps in them. So on my next warm-up, I'll probably do 6 to 8 max, something like that. And then after my final warm-up set, that's when I'll rest. So before I get into my working ones. That will do. Okay, giving myself 2 minutes and getting to the working weight. So my Smith machine is quite light. This is only like 11 and something kilograms. It's some stupid number. 11.7. Who's gonna track that? And because I'm such a gym bro and I only know math based on the size of the plates on each side, when I track it, I always count the bar as being 20. And if I'm changing gyms, I remember to just subtract 10 kilograms out of it. But I just do this for easy math. As you will never see me bragging anywhere that, oh, I'm benching this much on a Smith machine. It's just easier for my math. Okay, let's put the phone on Do Not Disturb, because this is my time. And I recommend you do the same every single time you train. As we all know, the first set is always a bit rusty, you know, crunchy. So we'll start with some breaking Benjamin. Oh no. Oof. That actually moved all right. So finally making some progress. So weight-wise, we've got a little bit over 70 kilograms. It will be 71.7. So, but you know, I track it. Yeah, but it's good. Shoulders are getting stronger in this position, and this is what matters the most to me right now. Again, you have so many movements that will target and destroy your front delts throughout your plan that you don't need another one, and you'd be better off working proportionally your body in all angles, again, including the weaker ones. I think this is when gym maturing kicks in, and you start caring for everything, not just specific parts. But I guess this also comes down the line when you've built a physique you're happy with, and then you are on side missions trying to fix little bits and learning and all. And ultimately, this is my goal with the channel, with you guys, to just share with you the knowledge that I've gathered along the years of training myself and training other people. Honestly, fitness is so cool, but it's so subjective. And although you can argue up until a certain point, because one movement could be feeling amazing for me and completely awful for you. And we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on some stuff. But my suggestion is always for you to, whatever you see, you trial and error, see what feels well, you adjust it, accordingly, because again, I could be giving you the full technique breakdown of an exercise, but you might need to make some tweaks to make it work within your biometrics and your proportions and however your body responds best. So you do your own version of it, and then you decide, okay, is this a good exercise? Great, then you keep it in the routine. If it's a bad one, okay, you never do it again. And you filter out in time, and year after year, you become more versed in what's working for you. And that's when you start building a proper plan. And once you have that plan, you just stick to it forever. And you apply progressive overload, and you do a deload week every 12 to 16 weeks to let your body recover, and you will grow. It is impossible not to. You just need patience. Ooh. Ooh. Damn. So a technique for you to try next time you're doing your hypertrophy range reps. This is something that I've actually learned from one of my clients who is a big CEO of a company, and he time boxes everything. So all his tasks are specifically allocated a time slot. So I'll be doing this for 2 hours and this for 2 hours. So he feels like he has mini achievements throughout the whole day that boost his motivation to keep on going and make a 12-hour or a 16-hour day of work a lot more efficient and enjoyable. So he started applying the same thing to how he tracks his reps. So we train together, and obviously I count his reps, duty of the job. And he's like, can you break my set down in 3 sets of 4 rather than just counting up to 12? Because the moment you reach the number 7, 8, 9, the number in your head seems to be almost too big, and you will give up a lot sooner because you feel like, oh, I've done so much already, I'm good, I'm ready to rest. But if you constantly kind of like restart, so you do 1, 2, 3, 4, great, first part done. Now the next 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, great. Now the last 4, and then you keep on going. Honestly, it makes such a big mind shifts in your head that, let's say you've done the first 2 sets of 4, so your first 8 reps, and now it's heavy, but you start from 1 rather than starting from 9. And it plays this like mind trick on you where you feel like, okay, I cannot fail on 1 or 2 reps, that's nothing. So I might as well get a tiny bit more of my next set. And a lot of the times you find out that you can push a lot more just by tricking your mind into thinking that this is actually not that much. So now I've started doing this as well with my training, where although I have 12 reps in my head, I count them in 3 sets of 4. So I have a mini achievement each time. The first 4, the middle 4, and the last 4. And it does help. Oddly enough, it does help. And this is something you need to try yourself. But it's really good. It's really good. It has changed the game for me, and it showed me that actually there is a lot more to do when I feel like I've done enough. And I just need to gaslight myself into believing it. Okay, last one here, and we got the drop set. Two, 3, 4, 1 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm telling you, man, it's working. Oof. Okay, now with just the bar, obviously it's light, we'll go just for the bottom 2/3 of the movement, so we don't lock out, we keep the tension in, and the goal of this is really to promote a bit more blood flow. Bit of pump. Okay, great set. I'm happy with that. Next week we'll definitely go heavier. I'm happy with this consolidation session. So, 85 next time. I mean, 75, but don't tell anyone. We got incline dumbbell press with pullovers. So double inclines, always at 45 degrees, not 30. 30 is just like, 45 I feel like is the right mixture in between upper chest and front delts. And for my shoulders, that feels the best. I get the best stretch from my upper pecs. So 45 for me, but whatever you find more comfortable. We'll start with a couple of warm-ups, and then we got 4 sets of 8 of presses and 8 on pullovers as well. Whew. I'll rest for a minute and a half, and then we can start. Again, goal here is always for the dumbbell heads to touch your shoulders at the bottom. If you're stopping any higher, why? There's no reason for you to wrap up the weight as fast as you can until you complete the reps properly. Then you see that I'm quite flared out with my elbows when I do my press. That's where my shoulders feel the most amount of comfort. Pressing at this angle in general, I have like a wider grip. I know you'll see a lot like, oh, you should tuck your elbows in to like 45 degrees or something like that. Again, personal preference. I've tried that, I didn't like it. This is the angle that I enjoy the most. And that is exactly how you should be approaching any lift as well. So you try it, and then you make adjustments that work for you. Again, every single time you see an exercise, that's the 80% of the formula. The last 20 is you making the adjustments for yourself. Because everyone is different, this is very subjective, and your bench press is gonna look very different than mine to get a similar outcome. So always keep that in mind. That actually moved all right, you know. 2 minutes, 3 more. Keeping that in. Starting to warm up. So for pullovers, I drop the bench to 15 degrees. Then I push my body a tiny bit higher up until like my head kind of goes halfway above the bench. That's in order for me to have enough room when I go with my arms behind for the dumbbells to not hit the bench and ruin my flow. If you stay just normal, you won't be able to get a stretch, at least with this kind of setup. Then I also, I don't know if you've seen it on the video, I kind of like triangle the bench with my legs just so I can anchor myself in And again, get an even better stretch because of it, because otherwise the dumbbell will move you up slightly. The grip is diamond underneath. On the stretch, I let my elbows flare out, and on the way up, I try and bring them slightly in. So when the dumbbell reaches above my chin level, forehead, let's say, then I can get a much better engagement in my upper chest. So you get a much better mind-muscle connection with it. Again, it's little things, but they come in play nicely. 30 seconds, and we go for the next one. Okay, 2 minutes, 2 more. That felt heavy. That was a rep and a half, Jesus. Okay. Jesus. One more. I'll be happy with 5 on the next one. Damn. Reps are good though. This feels amazing. The engagement. Fuck. Okay, this was tough. We'll go to cable decline process now. Right, so for decline process, you need to set the cable height at over your shoulders so you can create the angle of coming down at roughly 45 degrees or so. Obviously a couple of dumbbells behind your bench so you don't get pulled back, and then you need to put a plate over the front of the bench as well, because otherwise this will get lifted up because of the angle. Bench still sits at like 90 degrees. Now when you pick up the handles, you'll have to do them while standing. And again, same as with the normal cable presses that we do on Monday, you have to get quite close and then use your torso to twist in. Don't try and pull it with your arm, because you'll strain something for sure. Okay. On this time around, I like to keep a 45-degree grip rather than going wide. So when I go on the stretch, my palms are going towards my armpits rather than out. I feel like the more I go out on cables, the more my shoulders don't really like it, due to the angling, most likely. So again, I try and keep my palms always close to my body, and then I press down and in at 45 degrees. I love it. It's so much better than your normal decline bench where your head is down, all the blood is rushing in there, and you feel like most of the pressure goes into your shoulders anyway. Absolutely hate that. But now you're standing up, you have the same angle, if not even better, and you can have even leg drive into it. Just makes sense. Again, cable presses are the best thing, and it took me 9 years to discover them, and for the past 3 years, I've only been doing those. It's really good. So here we got 4 sets of 12. The last one will be a drop set again. Since we're here, again, another advantage of the cables is that drops are mad fast to do as well, which is really convenient, and you don't need anyone. That's great. Okay, 2 minutes, 2 more on those. Right, moving into flies. So we drop the cable height at shoulder level. Again, same as on chest day on Monday. We got 3 sets of 15 reps. And we are gonna aim for that technique that I was showing you as well. So again, on the stretch, your palms are gonna tilt forward, so you get more stretch at the bottom here. And then on the way in, you're gonna bring your pinkies in. You're twisting your elbows towards each other. And that's gonna give you a much better engagement in your chest overall. So again, goal is 15 reps, but we'll go for as many as we can with this form, and then we can go into the normal crab flies up until we finish the reps. But we only track on the app the good ones. Only 1 minute rest. Not gonna waste a lot of time here. So on the rear delt flies, I set the cables at roughly nose height, and the one tip that I'll give you on this is to make sure you let your arms cross over at the top rather than just like stopping in the middle and then going from there, because you're losing a lot of stretch and a lot of range of motion, and that is also the most valuable bit out of the whole lift, because that's when you have a lot of tension against that stretch point. So take down the weight and go very crossover with your arms. Thank me later. So we got 4 sets of 15 here. 1 minute rest. Ooh. Heavy. Okay, 2 more. Might drop the weight a tiny bit. I need more than 10 reps. Okay, so we're moving into the last bit of the workout. We got 4 sets of 12 on each here, starting with chest supported side raises and then chest supported front raises. For front raises, I'm dropping the weight in half, very heavy at that point. And yeah, for side raises, I don't go completely to my side. I go a tiny bit more in a Y-shaped letter, so it's to the side and a tiny bit in front. I find that I'm getting a much better feel at the top of the movement if I have that tiny shift. But then again, it could be different from you. So try and error and find an angle that fits right with your shoulders. This is just mine. I'm also hugging the bench with my legs, by the way, so it doesn't move side to side. Okay. Only resting for a minute. We got 3 more sets. And that's that. Ooh, shoulders are burning. Good stuff. And that concludes it for today. Pretty happy with the performance. Increased the weight and reps on most of the exercises. Obviously dropped on some, but that was collateral damage because I've done so well in the beginning stage of the workout, so I cannot really complain. Unfortunately, I didn't finish the abs section. The gym was a bit crowded and I need to run into a few meetings. It's a pretty packed afternoon and evening, to be honest. I have a lot of check-ins to do as well with my online clients, but at some point at lunchtime I will try and squeeze in a 10-15 minute ab circuit at home, so just bodyweight stuff. But as I always say, 70% of the work is always better than 0, and on days like this you need to make it work somehow. In terms of training, if you're interested, you can visit the second link in my description. And if you want to start training with me, I got my own online coaching app and you'll see all the details on the website, but you basically get a 7-day free trial plus 2 weeks money back guarantee. So if by the end of week 3 you decide that this is not for you, the app is hard to understand, or you don't like the coaching completely, your money safe. So I'll refund you fully and you even get to keep the programs. Why am I doing this? Because I hate sales calls and I don't want us to waste any time doing those, so I'm willing to give you a safety net in return. I have less than 5% of people actually asking back for the refund, so I think the service is pretty great. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, you're probably gonna like this one as well, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one.